Look how much beans I've harvested. So we've got purple and yellow. And now let's think about how we're gonna eat it, use it, preserve it. Welcome back to Adri's Homestead Life. Today we are going to pressure can purple and yellow pole beans. I have got 2.5 kilograms of beans, what I've picked yesterday evening. I washed it thoroughly. I'm going to take the ends, snip both ends, and I'm going to put them in cold water just for now. In the meantime, I'm going to put hot water in a pan and I'm going to put it behind me on the stove to let it boil. I'm going to put the beans in there in roughly this kind of length, and I'm going to boil in that water for about 5 minutes until it's tender and crisp. It's hopefully gonna give me 5 quart jars. So after 5 minutes on the stove, I'm gently gonna remove the beans and I put them in the jars. The jars will be hot because this is a hot pack method. So my jars are now in the dishwasher, in the wash cycle, and then I'm going to put the hot beans in a hot jar. I'm also going to put a tablespoon of white vinegar and a teaspoon of sea salt in the jar, and then I'm going to fill the jar up with the water what we cook the beans in until about 2.5 centimeters from the rim. We're going to pressure can and 10 pound the pressure, in my case the quart jars, for 25 minutes. So if you're interested how to can beans, stay with me and let's do it. Right, the beans now just boil in there for 5 minutes. The jars are nice and warm, just came out from the dishwasher. Before we load the beans, I would like to tell you what else I'm going to put in these jars. So we're going to add some basil leaves. I'm going to add about 3 leaves to each jar. And then if it's a smaller, maybe I put 4. Just gives a lovely flavour. Now I've got the basil leaves. Next I'm going to add a teaspoon of sea salt each. So a teaspoon per jar. And then a tablespoon white vinegar per jar. And as far as ingredients, that's all we're going to put. And something magic happened. Do you remember we put purple beans? We started out with purple beans. Well, in hot water, the purple beans turn to green beans. So that's all done. The next job now, we're going to strain out the beans from that boiling hot water. I'm going to fill the jars. So now we ended up with green beans and yellow beans instead of the purple. So those filled the jars. We've got 5 quarts. You can boil water in a kettle and then just pour boiling water over, because now my water, it's been slightly discolored by the purple beans, but I don't mind that. So I'm just going to fill those jars, hot jars with hot product, hot water, hot pack method, and we're going to this 2.5 centimeter mark. I'm not going to fill any more than that. And then we're going to put the 2-part lid. Canning lids on it. And then we're going to put it in a pressure canner for 25 minutes. And we've got 5 quarts, 2.5 kilogram of beans, canned for whenever we want to eat it. Just put a little bit of vinegar and a kitchen towel and just wipe over the rim. Make sure it's no residual, no part of beans or anything. Make sure we've got a proper seal. Now we've got the brand new canning lids. Just place it on the top and put the rings over it. Finger tight, not too tight. And that can go to the pressure canner. The beans are now in the pressure canner. I've turned them on high because we are building up the pressure. And when I see and feel steam coming out, I count, 10 minutes. And after that, we're going to put it on 10 pounds of pressure. And we leave it there for 25 minutes. After 10 minutes steaming time has ended, I've put the gorge on, and then now we're gonna wait until the pressure builds up until it reaches the 10 pound pressure. The time is up. I'm going to turn the heat off, and I am just going to let it to cool down. Back to 0. You take this off. Wait another 5 minutes before we open the lid. Take the lid off. Open the canner. It is now ready to use the jar lifter. It's still very, very hot. And take the jars out one by one and place it on this towel. I'm gonna wait for 24 hours or until the jar cools down completely, and then take the rinse the rings off, wipe the jars, and then we're going to put the jars to the pantry. The jars are nicely cooled down. It is the next day, so it had a good seal. I've checked. Take the rings off. I wiped the jars and this is now ready to go to the pantry. We are now in the annex. What I have noticed that some of these jars has siphoned. That means when we canned these beans, I filled the jar with water just under the ring up there, and it lost about a couple of centimeters. It's not ideal, but it's absolutely fine. So what I've also done, I put 23rd of August, the date on it, so I know when we've done it. So look how nicely our pantry is now started to fill up. This year we've got gooseberry compote here. We've got plenty honey because we had an amazing honey harvest this year. And now we've got the beans. We are picking beans again. This time we are picking runner beans. The runner beans are now producing like crazy. So I'm probably gonna cook some for dinner. And we are going to freeze dry some. So the pressure canning of the green beans and yellow beans turned out really well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll show you how I freeze dry the runner beans next. I hope you all have a lovely day. See you very soon. Bye friends.